everyone, I'm Savannah and this is Unisense. We are all about fragrances. We do fragrance reviews, hauls, comparisons, collections, niche, designer, and Middle Eastern fragrances. Today, I'll be reviewing some of French Avenue's new releases. If this sounds interesting to you, please consider subscribing and turn post notifications on. Let's jump in. So today we're going to go through 3 of French Avenue's new releases. Firstly, we're going to go through French Avenue's Meringue. Now, all 3 of these releases are all the same style bottles. One of them has a different style packaging, but they're all the same bottles and they're all from the same line. There are 4 fragrances in the line, but I only have 3 of them. So if we look at Meringue, this is the packaging. I find this packaging really, really beautiful. I love the little stone that's in it. Not a massive fan of the yellow color because I'm not a fan of yellow, but I do enjoy the bottles. So this is the bottle. I really like the bottle styles. They are quite pretty, but yeah, I'm not a massive fan of this color. I prefer the other 2 colors that we have. Fairly decent atomizer. Now this fragrance is supposed to be a dupe of BDK's Creme de Coeur. I do think it is similar. I don't think it's 100%, but I do think it's similar. So in the notes, in the top notes, we have pineapple, bergamot, and mandarin. In the mid, we have sandalwood and suede. And in the base, we have ambergris, birch, white musk, and vanilla. So the opening is very, very citrus. You can immediately pick up all those citruses, plus the pineapple. But it's almost a sour pineapple. It's almost a little bit overripe. So a little bit of a sour pineapple. It's quite fresh in the opening. It does stay quite fresh throughout the fragrance, but in the opening it's very, very fresh. Then I must admit, the suede comes through quite quickly. So you get that leathery accord quite quickly. It mixes well with the pineapple and the citruses, but that leather comes through quite quickly. But you get the smoothness as well and the creaminess from the sandalwood. So in the dry down, it is quite woody. It's quite woody and obviously suedey, so like leathery. But it is a very smooth fragrance. It's smooth throughout the journey of the fragrance. It's not an overly sharp fragrance. It's quite smooth. So overall, I would call it a woody, leathery citrus fragrance. The citrus is obviously there just in the opening, and then once it settles, then the citrus dies down a little bit more. But the woodiness and the leatheriness stays there throughout the fragrance. Occasion-wise, I would say I'd wear this for a brunch or a picnic. I would say that it is signature scent worthy. So the leather is quite smooth and almost gentle. It's very inoffensive, so it can be worn on a daily basis. I would say it is signature scent worthy just because of that. That leather is not, it's not a pungent leather. It doesn't hit you in the face. It's just nice and smooth. It blends well with the sandalwood and it blends well in general with the pineapple as well. So I think it's a really good fragrance and I enjoy it, and it does smell similar to Creme de Coeur. This is definitely a fragrance for a sunny day. It's quite fresh. It's quite classy. It's definitely suitable for the office because it's inoffensive and it's quite a smooth fragrance. I would say it's unisex. I don't think it leans masculine or feminine. I think it's a completely in the middle unisex fragrance. I don't think it's sexy. So there's no line where you have a feminine leaning sexiness or a masculine sexiness. I don't think it's sexy. I think it's just a very good, elegant, classy scent. In terms of longevity, I get about 6 to 8 hours with moderate projection. Even if I overspray, I don't get strong projection. So you're probably going to stick with moderate projection even with overspraying. You can overspray this fragrance and it's not going to be offensive to anyone. So don't worry about that. It's a very smooth, gentle fragrance. Next, we have Sweet Paradise, which is a much prettier bottle to my eye. It's a much prettier color. It's a pinky color, which is really nice. Same type of bottle. So that's the bottle, same type of bottle, just a pink kind of color, baby pink kind of color. Now, if we look at the notes of this, in the top, we have ambrette, musk, and mandarin. In the mid, we have peach, peony, and orris. And in the base, we have barley, tonka, and heliotrope. So barley is an interesting note to me because I'm not actually sure how it smells in fragrances. So I'm thinking that what I'm getting in this fragrance is barley because I haven't smelt it before in any other fragrance that I've smelt. So immediately in the opening, I get a sweet scent. Now, what I immediately get, which is it's a weird thought because I think it's coming from the barley, and I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it is, but I think it is because it's the only thing that kind of makes sense. I'm getting a cookie dough kind of scent. It's just in the opening. It's very powdery, so that orris is obviously bringing in that powdery aspect, but there's definitely a cookie dough kind of smell. It's quite strong, but the powder comes across not as like a normal powder, not as like a baby powder or anything like that. It comes across as like marshmallow powder, not actual marshmallows. It doesn't smell like the taste of marshmallows or the smell of marshmallows, but it smells of marshmallow powder. That's the kind of scent sensation that I get when I smell this. When I smell this, I don't know how to explain it, but it kind of gives me like a rounded scent, like a circle, like a sphere. I don't know why, but it makes me think of like a sphere that's very well rounded, that's smooth, with a little bit of powder on it. That's just the picture that comes to my head when I smell this. When it dries down though, the cookie dough kind of changes into like a biscuit. So it's not a cookie, it's more of a savory biscuit. So that's why I'm thinking it's the barley, because it gives that savory aspect. It's giving me a biscuit kind of vibe. There is definitely a muskiness to this. And as it dries down, which even now, it hasn't been on long, but the powder is settling a little bit. It's not quite as strong. And then as it dries down further, the sweetness gets a little bit richer, it gets a little bit thicker. It's not quite as cookie dough sweet. It's more a rich sweetness. And once again, it smells very, very different on paper than on skin. So definitely taste it on skin. So overall, I find this fragrance a musky, floral, powdery fragrance. I know that's a lot of different aspects that come into one, but that's what I'm getting from it. It's quite musky, it's floral, it's powdery. It's well balanced and well put together. So I really, really enjoy this one. It's quite an interesting fragrance. I haven't smelled anything like it before, so it is quite an interesting fragrance for me. It is a year-round fragrance. I don't think it's rigid, like stuck to one season, but I definitely say it's year-round. It's quite versatile. You can wear it in basically any situation. I wouldn't say for the gym, but for anything else, I would say you could wear it in any other situation. The projection is moderate. It's quite strong initially, and then it becomes moderate. And then the longevity is not bad. I get about 6 to 8 hours on longevity. Sometimes I've even gotten 8 to 9 hours on longevity with overspraying. So if you overspray, this fragrance is going to last longer. The one thing that I keep questioning with this fragrance is it's like initially it gives me a gourmand kind of vibe. It smells gourmand to me, but then when it dries down with the biscuit kind of scent profile, kind of makes me think that it's not gourmand, because I don't know, it's like this gourmand, but is it really kind of questioning kind of scent? It's a very interesting scent to me, and I really, really enjoy it. It's just very interesting, quite unique, so I quite like that about it. It's quite a feminine scent, and it is quite fluffy. That's one thing I must say about the scent. It comes off as quite fluffy, which I really like. I can't really describe it beyond that, that it's just fluffy. It just makes me think of like a fluffy marshmallow powder. That, yeah, it's weird. It's a weird fragrance, but I really enjoy it. But I don't think it is blind buy safe. I really don't think it is blind buy safe. Definitely test it before you buy it. Last but not least, we have my favorite one, which this one is called Liquid Brun. So it's in different packaging. I'm not sure why it's in different packaging. I didn't expect it to be in different packaging, but it's in different packaging. And this is my absolute favorite one out of the line. So there's the bottle. Same bottle again, but different box that it comes in. So I don't know, it's weird. It's got a metallic bottle on the outside, and then the cap is very plastic, which I'm not a massive fan of the plasticky outside of the cap here. But yeah, it's a very nice. These bottles are very nice bottles. Oh, I love that smell. Quite a nice atomizer as well. All of the atomizers are fairly decent. So if we look at the notes in this fragrance, in the top we have cinnamon, orange blossom, cardamom, and bergamot. And in the mid we have bourbon, vanilla, and elemi. And in the base we have praline, ambroxan, musk, and grey egg wood. This immediately to me is quite a vanillic fragrance. I love it. This fragrance is supposed to be a dupe for Altair from PDM, from Parfums de Marly. So I haven't actually smelled Altair in a long time, so I'm not going to compare it to that because I haven't smelled it in a long time and I can't quite remember. I remember the basic scent profile of it, but I don't remember in depth, so I'm not going to compare it. I know it does smell similar, but I can't go through specifics. So in the opening, it is very sweet, it's spicy, it's resinous, it's lovely. I love it. It's a very sexy fragrance. As you spray it on, I just get like sex appeal. Like it just is a very, very sexy fragrance. I do find it unisex. It does lean masculine, but I do find it unisex. I wear it all the time and I absolutely love it. And I've received quite a few compliments on it. So it can be worn by both genders. As it starts to dry down, it gets sweeter, but it gets smoother and the spiciness starts to fade a little bit. It doesn't go away completely, but it fades a little bit. It remains resinous and it almost gets a chocolatey kind of undertone. Overall, I would say this is a sweet, vanilla, warm, spicy fragrance. It's definitely a date scent, definitely for date nights, that kind of thing. It's very sexy, it's very out there, it's very bold, it's in your face. I really enjoy that about it. It's very strong. It has amazing longevity and projection, like amazing. It lasts through the day, through the night, till the next morning. On your clothes, it lasts until you wash your clothes. It literally, like, it doesn't disappear. It really stays really, really long, and I love that about this fragrance. It's a very, very dark fragrance, and longevity, I get if I were to actually narrow it down and put a number to it, because as I said, it lasts day, night, into the next morning until you shower. It literally lasts until you shower. So I would say you get 12 plus hours on this with very strong projection. If you overspray, it may become a little bit too much in your face for some people. For me, I love it. But for some people, it might become a little bit overwhelming for their noses. But it is an incredibly sexy fragrance. I absolutely love this fragrance. As you can see, I get very excited about it. So this is definitely one of my favorites in my collection. And it's a fairly new fragrance, but it's definitely become one of my favorites in the collection. So that's it for my review of these free fragrances. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you found this interesting, please click that like button and subscribe. It really helps the channel. If you'd like to see me in more videos like this, please let me know. And please let me know what else you'd like me to review. I'll see you next time. Bye!